Immersion is a word we throw around a lot in gaming circles. We use it as a way to judge the quality of a title. As a matter of fact, one of the most common terms people use in describing their favorite games is the word immersive. I was reading a very interesting article that I'll link in the description below about what immersion is in video games, which psychologists have described as the perception of any given type of media as real, in the sense that the media users experience a sensation of being spatially located in the mediated environment. Essentially, this means the feeling of being inside the game world. Immersion is not dictated by one aspect of any game, such as gameplay or graphics. It is rather a combination of all elements present throughout the experience. On this video, I want to focus on a specific one, sound. I have challenged myself to learn more about how sound is used in video games and the many different functions it serves. I hope you enjoy watching this video as much as I enjoy creating it. Hello there folks, it's the Spaniard on the moon once again, and our test subject for this video is Mortal Shell, the Souls-like experience developed by Cold Symmetry and published by Playstack. As always, if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't done so yet, enable notifications to stay up to date on all the content. Also, if you want to watch me pull what's left of my hair out while playing Mortal Shell, make sure you follow me on Twitch. Finally, make sure to follow me on Twitter and let's talk about games. With all of that out of the way, what a better way to discuss sound than to listen to it first. You probably can already see why I chose this game to talk about sound. The area you're seeing in this video is Fulgrim, which is what we will cover today. The music in Mortal Shell captures you right from the start, invoking a feeling of dread and tension that will accompany you throughout your adventure. In the first tutorial section, the intensity of the music increases to point out the different dangers ahead of us, but not in a scandalous way as some other games do. It rather feels like a natural progression of the music, given the environment we find ourselves in. One of my favorite aspects about music in this game is that you, the player, can actually participate in it, and that is by the use of the lute. Let's just take a quick moment to listen to this. As you can see or listen in this case, the tune played by our shell fits right in with the world we find ourselves in. The music in this specific portion brings a feeling of the calm before the storm. We are not the only ones playing the lute either. At certain moments we can hear enemies playing their own sounds in the distance, creating the perception that our enemies are doing something more than just stand in our way. From this point on, the music removes itself from the center stage, giving room for voice and sound to make their presence known. The music never truly leaves us throughout our journey in Fulgrim, but it does take a subtle approach. As you may have probably guessed by now, we are going to take a listen at the voice work next.
Fetch me one of his mementos, and some tar too, and I'm sure we can stir up some recollections. Of course, first you must find his name.
They entertain themselves with drunken antics or violent cruelties. They know better than to attack us. But they followed us at a distance, hoping for scraps.
The greatest triumph in the universe, gifted and squandered. I shan't make the same mistakes as my brother. When the moment comes, I'll exercise restraint.
Upon listening to Sester Genesa for the first time, I cannot help but think of the Fire Keeper in Dark Souls 3, which does make sense given the fact that Mortal Shell is definitely inspired in the Front Software series. Even considering this resemblance, we can sense a darker and somber tone in Sester Genesa, matching the feeling of hopelessness that invades this world. The voice work on both Harrows and Solomon acts an extension of this feeling, each showing a distinct personality in just a few lines and providing us a glimpse into the secret history of this place. I have learned that sometimes short and sweet is the way to go. With that being said, let's move on to the final part of this video and the true meat of the sandwich, which is sound. These first couple minutes take the immersion to a whole new level from what we previously experienced in the tutorial section. The first thing we notice is the sounds of the water dripping from the walls of this cave, the sound of the wind coming through the hole that we're about to crawl through, and finally the sound of the water movement as we stand up and ready ourselves for what's coming ahead. All these different sounds work together to place us at the center of this cave. As we crawl through this hole, the sounds of water seem further and further away. Our knees and hands become the primary sources of sound as we crawl through a hole that completely defies the concept of gravity. Once we make our stand on Fulgrim, we sense a breeze going through the different plants, and as we inhabit our first shell, we can hear the difference in the weight of our steps. Each of the encounters in Mortal Shell carries a considerable weight to it in terms of sound. This is an area that at moments can feel pretty standard in terms of what it offers, but there are definitely a few highlights I want to mention, such as the sound of arrows as they fly near the player and the magnitude of enemies smashing their spears into the ground. Please note, in Fulgrim we have only been able to experience the game with one weapon, so I have not been able to fully capture the depth of the combat sounds. And as I progress through the different areas in the game, I will be able to bring you more details and insight. I hope I have been able to bring you a deeper look into the sounds of Mortal Shell, one that even at times I feel like it does not do it enough justice. Yet that is part of the journey we find ourselves in. Hopefully by now, the connection between immersion and sound has become clearer to you as it did to me while recording this video. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and enable notifications to stay up to date on any future content. Also, if you want to accompany me in my journey through Mortal Shell, make sure to follow me on Twitch at the Spaniard on the Moon. And finally, follow me on Twitter at the Spaniard's HUD, and let's talk about games, life, and everything in between. As always guys, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.